Hello and welcome back to Jikook Diaries, a place where we unravel not just moments, but feelings genuine, raw, and beautifully unfiltered. Today, we are addressing something that has caused countless debates, divided opinions, and stirred endless speculation within the ARMY world. But no more whispers, no more doubts. This is not a rumor. This is clarity. For so long, the Taekook ship V and Jungkook has stood as one of the most talked about dynamics in BTS. Fueled by fanfiction, edited clips, and imagination, many clung to the idea that there was more than friendship between Taeyoung and Jungkook. But behind the noise, the truth has always been quietly glowing in the background, waiting to be seen by those who chose to look with their hearts at Jimin and Jungkook. The bond between Jimin and Jungkook isn't about loud declarations or dramatic public moments. It's in the subtle glances, the way Jungkook's entire energy softens when Jimin is near, or how Jimin's protective nature kicks in the second Jungkook looks tired or vulnerable. And recently, something happened that broke through all the noise, all the speculation. Jimin finally confessed. And not through cryptic posts or vague lyrics, but with sincerity and emotion that no longer hides behind the guise of friendship. It happened during an intimate behind-the-scenes recording where the staff witnessed something unforgettable. The moment wasn't meant to be shared publicly, but when asked about his greatest emotional support, Jimin, without hesitation, said Jungkook's name. But he didn't stop there. He added, with tears in his eyes, that he doesn't just care for Jungkook like a friend or brother, he loves him. Simple, clear, and absolutely real. A staff member, anonymously, revealed how that moment caused the room to fall into silence. It was as if time froze. Jungkook, who had been quietly watching, simply walked over and hugged Jimin. No words, just that intense, familiar embrace that only the two of them share. A moment filled with years of shared struggles, laughs, pain, and healing. And in that one instant, the fantasy of Taekook crumbled, not out of malice, but because it was never real to begin with. It was always Jikook. The looks, the hands reaching for each other even in the dark, the way Jungkook always seeks Jimin when he's overwhelmed, and how Jimin becomes his anchor. That's not just friendship. That's love proven in real time, not imagined. Now, of course, we aren't here to hate on anyone's fantasy. Everyone's free to ship what they want. But what we can no longer do is deny the truth that's been blooming in front of us all along. Jikook isn't a ship, it's a reality. And Jimin's confession has finally broken the last wall. The what-ifs are gone. The maybe is over. And after that moment, nothing could go back to the way it was. For those who had been watching Jikook's interactions with open eyes, those who noticed the way Jungkook always looked at Jimin like he was the center of everything, Jimin's confession wasn't a surprise. It was confirmation of what they had always believed. But for others, it was a major shift. A shift from the dream they had built around a dynamic that never had any real foundation. Taekook was part of the fanbase's story, yes. But Jikook was a reality constructed not by fanfiction, but by their own lives. Remember when Jimin was always the first to reach Jungkook when he was hurt? Or at concerts, when Jungkook's voice cracked with emotion, and the only person who could calm him down was Jimin? That wasn't just support. It was an unspoken love, but it was palpable. And then, we saw a change in the way they presented themselves in front of the camera. It wasn't just shy smiles or small jokes anymore. Now, every interaction was filled with a newfound courage, a comfort that came from no longer hiding something so precious. One of the most touching moments occurred during a rehearsal for their final tour. A choreographer close to the members recounted that whenever practice got tough and the tension began to build, Jimin would look into Jungkook's eyes, and the tension would instantly melt away. Jungkook, known as the strong and talented Golden Magne, became a small, gentle figure in Jimin's presence because he knew he would always be his home. Even during their hiatus, when each member pursued solo projects and explored the world as individuals, Jikook's connection never faltered. In live broadcasts or interviews, whenever Jimin mentioned Jungkook's name, there was a distinct softness in his voice. And Jungkook? He could never hide his smile when he heard Jimin's name, even though he tried to act calm. Longtime fans will remember the moment when Jungkook openly said that he always felt safe with Jimin. Hyung makes me feel safe, he said, with unadulterated honesty. And in the world of South Korean celebrity, where emotional openness is a major risk, such a statement is no small thing. It's a confession, a small door that peeks into a larger world beyond. Jikook isn't about couple clothes, matching blankets, or even matching rings. Meanwhile, we all know the signs are real. The essence of Jikook is how two people silently love each other amidst the brutal spotlight. How they understand each other without needing to speak. How a single hug can convey 1,000 unspoken words. And when Jimin finally said, "I love him," it wasn't just for Jungkook. It was a declaration addressed to the world. That his feelings were something he could no longer hide. That he was tired of holding back what he had kept to himself for too long, and that he had finally chosen courage. Jungkook didn't respond with words, but the hug he gave was more honest than 1,000 poems. Within that hug, there was a story of the times they almost gave up, of nights when the pressure of the world was too much, of tears held back in practice rooms, and laughter shared in quiet hotel hallways, of the belief that as long as they were together, nothing was too scary. This is not about fan service. This is about two people who found solace and love in each other while standing in the harshest spotlight the world has ever seen. And still, they chose to stay close, no matter the risk, no matter the noise. Their connection was never built on fantasy, it was built on years of trust, loyalty, and emotion too deep for cameras to fully capture. So to every Taekooker who feels confused or upset, know this. No one is trying to erase a friendship. Taehyung and Jungkook will always share a bond as brothers in BTS. But love? That's a different story. That story belongs to Jimin and Jungkook. This isn't about proving who's right or wrong. It's about acknowledging a truth that deserves to be seen for what it is. Love, pure, brave, and finally confessed. Jikook is not just real. Jikook is love. And this is no longer a rumor. And here we are, ARMY, after all the speculation. After years of waiting, watching, and hoping, we finally stand before an undeniable truth. Jikook is real. Not just a fantasy, not just fan service, but love that has slowly grown in silence and now dares to shine in a world full of pressure. You are the ones who kept this story alive until love itself finally revealed its truth. And to Jimin and Jungkook, we are here. We see you. We hear you. And most importantly, we love you. No matter what happens next, you will always have a home in our hearts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of Jikook's emotional moments. Share this video with fellow ARMYs who have believed in their love. Because now we don't have to prove anything anymore. This isn't a rumor. This is love. And this is Jikook. See you in the next video only on Jikook Diaries. Stay kind. Stay soft. Stay in love. Annyeong. Purple Heart.